Are you a speaker? What's your style as a speaker? I was just watching a video on YouTube where a young man was telling me, a viewer, how he developed his style as a speaker. And he did this, he said, by studying other speakers on YouTube and picking what he liked from what they were doing and discarding what they didn't like. In other words, he was picking out the things that he really admired in that speaker, that perspective, and rejecting other things. Many years ago, I remember reading somewhere, when I took up creative writing, that was way back in the late 1960s, something along the lines of, it takes a writer about 2 million words of writing to develop his or her style. Now, to me at that time, that seemed pretty daunting. Then I realised that if you write a novel, write a book, it's usually about 80,000 words. And if you write an essay, it's maybe 1,000 words. And eventually, after a few years, you will have those 2 million words behind you, and you will have a style. Every writer has their own style. They don't have to deliberately pick it up by studying other people. Although this is what happens, you read certain books, certain novels, certain writers, and you pick up, probably subconsciously or unconsciously, how they write, and perhaps unintentionally, but find yourself emulating them in some way. This could well be the same with speaking. But I think if you deliberately seek a certain style, you're going to miss out on your own style. Your own style is something which evolves out of your character, out of your thinking, out of how you feel about the world. And by speaking a lot, by giving many, many presentations, that style becomes yours. And you're the only one in the world with it. Do not try to imitate someone else's style. You might think, I like that person because they're really dynamic. I'd like to be dynamic like them. If that's not your style, don't try to do it. It's a falsehood. It'll come across as false. If you see speakers who like to run up and jump up onto the stage and that's not your style, because you'd have to force yourself to do it, don't do it. Stick with your own way of presenting, even in the way you approach the lectern to speak and face the audience. This is your thing. This is your style. Stick with your own style, and as it evolves, you'll become better as a speaker within your style. Do not try to imitate another. Certainly, you can look at the best, enjoy what they have to say, and subconsciously you might pick up on their style, their way of doing things, but do not deliberately seek to do so. I think if you do so, you will undermine your own confidence in your ability to speak genuinely from the heart.